Resolved to disband the party's provincial leadership structure in the Western Cape. The decision was taken by the ANC's National Executive Committee meeting at the weekend. The ANC Youth League leadership also dissolved by the national leadership. Now, in a statement, ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe said the Western Cape Provincial Executive Committee was dissolved after its term of office expired. Mabe added that the party's national leaders have also lost patience with factional battles plaguing the ANC in the province. Some in the party have pointed at factionalism as one of the reasons why it's battling to dislodge the DA from power. Of course, the Western Cape, the only province where the ANC does not govern. All right, and we're joined by that national spokesperson, Pule Mabe, in studio. Thank you for being with us, Pule. So before we get to the Western Cape, can you comment just quickly on the ANC's stance on the scenes that we've seen in Joburg, foreign nationals saying they being attacked by police, retaliating?
We have issued a statement today condemning those acts because they are not in keeping with law enforcement in this country. We have got police who are empowered by the Constitution to be able to...
Are you condemning the police or the foreign nationals who threw rocks at
We are condemning foreign nationals who threw stones at police. Because when they did that, imagine if police had reacted in a manner that could be perceived otherwise by many. It would just have undermined the peace of our people. So we condemn those acts. We believe that there are sufficient mechanisms in this country to be able to attend to disputes without people showing that they do not respect the law. Because that was disdain. I mean, we are now turning South Africa into a banana republic. We can't do that. Our laws are quite liberal when it comes to allowing foreign nationals to do trade here. We have got ACHIP, which is an association of informal workers and traders in this country, and through ACHIP, government is able to facilitate and communicate on its own interventions, because the government of the people of South Africa believes in organized formations. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's foreign nationals, it's our people in the country. No one must do that to law enforcement agencies, and we call on law enforcement agencies to act swiftly. Those who have been positively identified must face the full wrath of the law.
Yeah, this is about legality, you're right, but I do remember Lindiwe Zulu, when she was a small business minister, saying things like foreign nationals should share their trade secrets. Yes. And there was some concern about that, because in no country, as far as I know, are foreigners told you have to give up your capitalist advantage, you have to share trade secrets. Is there any discussion amongst ANC officials about how the rhetoric can help or hinder relations between South Africans and foreigners right now?
Well, one of the things that we have said must happen as part of stimulating economic growth is to be able to have a focused program on supporting small businesses. We have got small businesses that are capable, people who run spaza shops in communities, in townships, in villages. We have got people who run local butcheries out there. Like I said, I was pointing out to ACHIP. All we need to do is that the Department of Small Business, including all other government departments, need to have focused programs to upskill those men and women who are, of course, in their majority South Africans, so that those businesses could thrive. But small businesses must also be made to be part of our own public sector and private sector supply chain, because that is the only way through which they could be able to generate the jobs they need in their own communities.
All right. We have to move to the Western Cape. So the disbandment of the entire leadership team, how unusual is that for a national leadership to say we're disbanding the whole province leadership?
Well, it is not unusual. I mean, we have been, the ANC National Executive Committee, in its own collective wisdom, has in the past, empowered by the constitution of the ANC, disbanded structures. You disband structures because of a number of reasons. It could be because of its own disintegration. It could be because its mandate has lapsed, or it could be because of possible legal challenges that the structure might be facing. And when you disband the structure, you do so because you want to drive forward a program or efforts to try and consolidate the strengthening of your own structures. You'd know the ANC now is undertaking a program of unity and renewal. That program requires stronger structures of the ANC on the ground. The structure of the ANC in the Western Cape, their mandate had long lapsed. the structure had begun to disintegrate. As a result, it makes it a little bit difficult to debase the opposition out in the Western Cape.
Yeah.
The deployees
so let me stop you there. Is
yes.
this about the ANC losing ground in the Western Cape, already in opposition, and then losing even more votes last time, receiving 28.5%?
Well, the ANC does an assessment from time to time. There are terms of offices that structures of the ANC are expected to be in office for. Actually, what we have tended to do lately is that when a structure reaches its at the end of its term of office, you would convert it into a task team. In this instance, when you take a decision to disband, you will then send your deployees to the province so that they could be able to meet with structures, interact with them, establish and solicit their own comments on what needs to be done, because it is not only the National Executive Committee that carries solution. The National Executive Committee deploys effective solutions on the ground, on organizational building, working with structures themselves.
I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but you did disband the Northwest.
Yes.
Supra who was the chair, then won a court case, and it was found that was procedurally unfair. Are you worried about any legal challenge here?
Well, the Western Cape PEC, their mandate had long lapsed.
Because there hasn't been a conference.
Well, their mandate has long lapsed. There's not been a conference. The expectation is that, so let's allow the deployees of the National Executive Committee to go to the province, do what the NEC said must be done in terms of interacting with lower structures, come back with a report to the National Working Committee in the intervening period, so that we could be able to roll out a focused political program. I mean, one of the things that have been coming up has been the deficit of political education. And we said that our own subcommittee that is dealing with political education needs to then say, what kind of political curricula are you supposed to then develop to deal with organizational renewal, organizational building, and strengthening of our own structures?
Well, how do you explain the disintegration that you're talking about? So I think Marius Fransman was suspended in 2016. There hasn't been a chair, there hasn't been stable leadership. How did it get so bad in the Western Cape?
Well,
and maybe explain the role of Ibrahim Rasool. There's claims that he was at odds with the current leadership as well.
No. I mean, Comrade Ibrahim was brought in to assist run elections, and that provincial elections team would have been working with Comrade Fikile Mbalula at national level, who is the captain of elections in the African National Congress. So there's not been any issues. The organization had an acting chair who has been working together with the broader collective of the Provincial Executive Committee. You would accept this, that when a structure's mandate has lapsed and different other issues start playing themselves out, which could ordinarily undermine the unity of that structure, it makes it difficult or rather impossible to focus on the immediate work, including of making sure that at the time when the structure goes to a conference, that conference is not conflated by your own internal battles. The decision that the ANC took is one that it expects that it will be able to marshal and bring all of our comrades in the Western Cape together.
We've run out of time, but very quickly, the ANC Youth League, I understand, will also be led by a team deployed from the national officials. It seems a bit of a pity. You want the ANC Youth League to challenge the mother body, to be young people, sometimes raising issues. But now you have that also controlled by national leadership. When will it change? When will there be new leaders in the Youth League?
Well, the ANC Youth League is established in terms of the constitution of the ANC. It is a league of the ANC. It is autonomous and yet an integral part of the African National Congress. We define it like that in our own strategy and tactics document. The team that we have put up to assist the National Youth Task Team, it's a team that must work on taking the Youth League to conference within the shortest time possible. And we have taken people who would not have interest to stand to be elected in the next conference. It is members of the ANC Youth League in good standing who are going to decide who must be their leader.
Okay. But only next year, I think, the conference.
Well, once the NYTT has started with its work, because provincial structures of the Youth League serve in that NYTT in an ex officio capacity. So the Secretary General of the Youth League, together with the SG, as part of that SGO, they serve in there. They will be able to file a report that allows all of us to appreciate the state of organization, branches that are there, and then understand the immediate work that needs to be done. There was a meeting today of the NYTT, which was chaired by the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, which was giving out the sort of framework that the NYTT must be seized with. And comrade, the convener was there, Comrade Thandi Mamba, and all other members of the NYTT were there. The expectation is that when the coordinator of the NYTT, Comrade Sibongile Besani, comes back, because he's now leading a delegation of the ANC out in China, they will be able to then say what are the immediate things that need to happen. We would expect that with the kind of experience that is there, comrades must go back in a retreat plan, come back and then say, this is the program that must be marshaled in the shortest time possible to take the Youth League to conference.
All right. Thank you for explaining those various issues. ANC National Spokesperson Pule Mabe with us in studio.